In terms of Attack on Titan theories, I'd say almost all of them are actually pretty hot garbage. They're either way too obvious or they're not even theories. They're just like literally stating the most straightforward what has to happen thing and calling it a theory. The only proper couple of theories that I've seen have been like something like the Ragnarok theory, where like everything has to go to hell because it's supposed to be representative of Ragnarok or whatever and based off it, which I guess that's a theory. It's not really, but it's close enough. And then there's like the time loop theory, for example, which actually more or less makes sense. It makes sense, but I don't think it's accurate. I doubt that the way the story's going to end is going to be the exact way that we're thinking of in the time loop. Maybe the concept is similar, but definitely I don't think it's going to be the way that we're interpreting it. But the way that the Attack on Titan time loop theory, which by the way, like I'm anime only, so there's not going to be any manga spoilers in this, so you're fine. But the way that this theory goes is that every time we get to a certain point in the story loops. Or there's another way to think of it. It's from Ymir all the way to the end of like what the story, I guess the story is going to be, it loops again. And the reason that people are saying this is for a couple of reasons. There's a bunch of like mini hints. I don't really know if it's hints or more of us pulling at straws, but there's something definitely screwy with the time and the memories, because the way that it works is that if you inherit a Titan, you get its memories from all its previous users, but it's a little vague. It's not always 100% accurate. Sometimes you have them, sometimes you don't, but the fact that they exist is what the most important thing is, because one thing that screws a lot of things up, like this is the moment that broke it, like that made no sense to anyone, is in Grisha Jaeger, Aaron's father's backstory. There's a person named Aaron Kruger. Already there's an interesting parallel between Aaron, or similarity, not parallel. There's a similarity because of the names, obviously, but that's just the name, right? Nothing special, nothing crazy. The issue is what he says. He says that he's talking to Grisha to inherit the Attack Titan, or something like that. And he's telling him that you have to inherit it. You have to do it for like a couple people's sakes. Those people that he mentions were Mikasa and Armin. This is happening like 20 something years before Eren and Mikasa are born, or they're not Eren, Armin. So it's like something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong if this person is remembering them. It might not be necessarily that he's remembering them from the past though. He could be remembering them from the future. And what I mean by that is that if the story looped, and you have the memories of every previous Titan, wouldn't it be possible for you to remember the previous user in the time loop? So the last user before the time looped. So say Eren is the last user of the Attack Titan. And then it loops again. And you get all the way back to Aaron Kruger. Aaron Kruger could, if the time loop is plausible, have Eren Jaeger's memories. Which is interesting, to say the least. And it would also make sense that Eren himself is sending himself memories back over and over and over every time the world loops. Say like the loop is like if the world ends, the whole thing loops, or if like I don't know, something like some condition happens and the world loops. If that condition gets met every time and Eren's trying to like say his goal is to save humanity. If he's trying to save humanity and he fails every time, so every time he sends more memories back. And Eren in the future, like the present time Eren, the one who's still young, he would get the memories when he inherits the Attack Titan. But they're vague, remember? So he has a brief, really vague idea of what he wants to do, more on feelings. He's like, I think this is right. For some reason, I have a feeling that this is right. I kind of have this dream that this would be right. He starts getting these kind of mini things that tell him what to do. And a thing that people were saying, I don't remember exactly whether this was like first, second season maybe, where there's a scene where Armin's about to get eaten by a Titan. And you see him in the jaws of the Titan, and then he falls in. And then there's a scene after that where he's back in the jaws of the Titan, which makes no sense. But it's like, it could be just an animation thing, where it's just like, oh, we screwed up, we just put it in the wrong places, we accidentally did that or whatever. I don't know how the manga looks, so I can't really say anything on that, but the fact remains that he went in the mouth and then he's back out of it all out of nowhere. The first time we saw that could have been like the first loop. And then that happens, and then the story continues, and Eren can't complete his objective because he needed Armin. Or because, also because this is when Eren learns that he can shift shape into a Titan, I'm pretty sure. So actually, this is definitely the first season, but Armin never gets in danger and Eren doesn't go to save him. He wouldn't realize he had the Titan, so the whole story wouldn't be able to continue the same way, so it would completely change the story. So what they were saying is, if Armin gets eaten, story continues, the whole thing has to loop. Now when you get back to the loop in the same place where Armin's about to get eaten, this time Eren has the feeling to jump in and save him. So the story changes. And the theory goes that Eren in the future, or the Eren in like season 4 or whatever, like, or in general, like that kind of time frame of Eren, is sending back memories every time to like in the loop to try to like get the future he wants. And this becomes interesting when you look at the first episode's title, titled "To You 2,000 Years From Now." The manga as well, same title. It makes sense if you think about it looping, right? Because 2,000 years, right? That time frame is way too big for Eren or any one of those to live. So it can't be like the time loop, or I'll explain in a sec, but like that time frame is really big. But Ymir Fritz, wasn't she somewhere around 2,000 years to the current story? Somewhere around there? Now, this is where it's interesting. If there's a time loop, wouldn't it make sense if the title is referring to the whole loop 2,000 years? Eren in the future, most present Eren. All the way back to Ymir Fritz. The loop goes from him all the way back. That's a 2,000 year difference. So then, there's that 2,000 years. Also, you could think of it starting from Ymir Fritz. The memories, because of the time loop, the memories of Eren passed from Ymir Fritz 2,000 years across back to Eren. So it's as if Eren is sending back his memories 2,000 years every time. Because it's not like once you get to the present Eren, then there's 2,000 years it takes to go back and then forth. No. It just straight up loops, like from Eren future Eren, dystopian Eren or whatever, straight to Ymir Fritz, and there's a 2,000 years to back to the present Eren. So there's that 2,000 year gap. That would make complete sense in terms of the time frame. Also, something I didn't know, but when I found out, this actually is pretty cool. We know the final, not chapter, the final panel of Attack on Titan, and it's just this picture of, like, don't worry, that's not a spoiler, so it's just this picture of this person. More than like, we don't really know, but like it's a picture of this person holding a baby. Now you could interpret this in lots of different ways, but if you're trying to think about it through the theory, wouldn't it make sense if that were like Ymir, or if that were Eren being born? That would make sense because it's like 2,000 years from now. I think Ymir fits better because like 2,000 years from now, and then it's like Eren's memory in Ymir, and then Ymir is 2,000 years, and then there's Eren again. That kind of thing. I think that makes more sense, but in general, the theory is intricate to say the least. Although I don't 100% think this is how it's going to happen. It really fits. It's really cool. Either way, though, like, that's about all I have to say. This would be Green signing out. Yo, peace.